Welcome to Business News on Housing TV Africa. I am Maimuna Bagudu. Let's take a look at the business world and stock market update. MTN Nigeria unveils eco-friendly SIM cards. Lagos eyes $38.58 billion coconut market with increased production. InterSwitch hubs on local payment solutions to drive inclusive growth. Nigeria Benin Republic boosts trades with new dry port. On the stock market report, Aradel investors lost over 800 billion naira 4 days after listing. We begin with MTN Nigeria. The MTN Nigerian Communications PLC has launched a pilot of its paper-based biodegradable eco-friendly subscriber identity model SIM cards in line with its Project Zero goals, which seek to reduce GHG emissions and achieve net zero emissions by 2040. The biodegradable paper-based SIM card is safer for the environment as it supports the management of products throughout their life cycle in a manner that promotes circularity and reduces waste. Also, the gradual elimination of plastic-based SIM cards helps the company make a huge contribution to plastic pollution prevention, showing its commitment to continuously exploring ways to integrate sustainable practices into its operations. With the global coconut product market expected to reach $38.58 billion by 2030, fueled by popularity in food and cosmetic industries, Lagos State government is encouraging the establishment of more seed farms to boost production for local consumption and for export. According to Research and Markets, a global business intelligence firm headquartered in Dublin, Ireland, the coconut water product segment is expected to register the fastest growth owing to the tremendous growth in healthy and nutritional drinks to adopt a healthy lifestyle and increasing use of coconut products in the food and beverages industry, owing to the rise in awareness about its benefits and functional properties. The General Manager, Lagos State Coconut Development Authority, LASCODA, Prince Dapo Olakune, stated that within the last 2 years, the authority was being able to complete the coconut value chain carried out by the Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, of the United Nations. Now, InterSwitch Group has reiterated the need to develop local currency payment solutions to drive inclusive growth and enhance cross-border trade across Africa. Speaking at the Nigerian FinTech Week held in Lagos recently, where InterSwitch was a sponsor, Managing Director Payment Processing and Switching InterSwitch Pure Pay, Hakeem Lawal, emphasized the importance of building a robust infrastructure that enables African businesses to transact seamlessly across the continent. Lawal, during his keynote speech titled Leveraging Commerce to Accelerate Inclusive Growth, the Role of African FinTech Innovation, he addressed the challenges posed by current payment systems that rely on non-African intermediaries for intra-African transactions. Courier, logistics, transport, and management have been identified as key areas that could help the federal government to raise the needed cash to drive its renewed hope agenda and realization of the ambitious 1 trillion economy by 2030. Executive Chairman, Courier and Logistics Management Institute, Professor Simeon Imije, said the Courier and Logistics subsection can boost the nation's gross domestic product (GDP) by 60%. If fully tapped, adding that it employs more people than even the oil and gas sector. According to him, the industry has assets worth over 15 trillion naira but requires a stable, dependable regulatory environment to thrive. Imije, who is the first professor of Courier, Logistics, Transport and Management, experienced dissatisfaction that the full potential of the sector was yet to be tapped, primarily due to government's inability to entrench regulations that would drive innovation, investment, and growth. Nigeria and Benin Republic have reached agreement on the commencement of the Samia Dry Port, a major boost to trade between the two countries. Governor Nasir Idris of Kebbi State met President Patrick Talon of Benin Republic in Cotonou to fine-tune the agreement for the commencement of operations scheduled for October 31, 2024. Talon was accompanied at the meeting by his ministers of Foreign Affairs and Finance. Located in Kebbi State, Samia Dry Port is a strategic project aimed at enhancing trade and logistics between Nigeria and Benin Republic. designed to facilitate efficient cargo movement, streamline customs processes, and bolster regional economic integration. Oil and gas companies are preparing to spend 60% more on fossil fuel exploration, according to data and industry executives. Analysts at Wood Mackenzie, a global oil sector consultancy, found that investments in oil and gas among the 23 biggest producers in the world are set to climb by over 60% by the next year, compared to the trend of 2020 and the pandemic lockdowns. The main driver has been the drawing realization that the transition is unfolding more slowly than expected, implying that oil and gas demand may be stronger for longer. It further said, aero majors are looking to plug production and cash flow gaps by investing more upstream. U.S. majors and some emerging majors have already used M&A to expand and extend upstream exposure. The Poultry Association of Nigeria PAN Lagos State Chapter, along with key players in the sector, have expressed concern over the rising cost of raw materials for egg production, which continues to drive up the price of eggs. They further called on the federal government to intervene in order to stabilize the market. Now, speaking with journalists in Lagos on Sunday, the chairman of PAN, Mr. Mojid Iola, attributed the price hike to the soaring cost of raw materials for bird feed. Stakeholders highlighted that eggs, once the most affordable source of protein, are now becoming increasingly unaffordable for many Nigerians. The World Bank has urged the Nigerian government to increase its investment in nutrition programs, highlighting the potential for substantial economic returns. According to the global financial institution, every dollar spent on nutrition could yield up to $23 in return, underscoring the critical importance of addressing malnutrition, particularly among vulnerable populations. This appeal comes amid alarming rates of child stunting and maternal anemia in Nigeria, which pose serious challenges to the nation's health and economic development. The World Bank's investment framework for nutrition highlights that globally, investing in nutrition is not just about health, it's about economic growth. Now, the National Association of Telecommunications Subscribers, NATCOM, has called on the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, to approve a marginal 10% tariff increase for telecom companies to alleviate the rising operational costs in the sector. Mr. Adeolu Ogunbanjo, National President of NATCOMs, in a statement to the newsmen said that the tariff hike is necessary for telecom companies to sustain their operations and improve service quality. He emphasized that the current economic conditions are severely impacting telecom operators, making it crucial for stakeholders to find a balanced solution. Let's take a break to return to Stock Market Report.
Visit Housing TV Africa on YouTube and click on the subscribe button. Subscribe to Housing TV Africa to stay updated on latest happenings in Nigeria's housing sector. Follow our social media pages, like and share our posts on Facebook, Housing TV Africa, on Twitter, Housing TV Africa, Instagram, Housing TV Africa. Join the conversation and keep up with latest housing updates.
Welcome back to Business News on Housing TV Africa. Now to stock market reports. The Nigerian stock market recorded gains this week, with the all-share index rising by 0.48% to close the second week in October in the green, driven by momentum in the consumer goods and the oil and gas sectors. ASI grew up 463.65 points, closing at 98,070.28, up from 97,606.63 points the week before it. This growth was driven by strong price action in stocks like Transcorp Power PLC, Micure Industries PLC, plus the consumer goods sector, which grew up 1.42%. A total of 33 equities appreciated in value this week, higher than 29 in the prior week. Meanwhile, 43 equities declined, lower than the 52 seen the previous week. Now, investors in Aradel Holdings PLC lost a total of 845 billion naira 4 days after the company's shares were listed on the Nigerian Exchange Limited (NGX). Aradel Holdings, an integrated energy company, listed 4.34 billion shares on the NGX main board on October 14, 2024 through listing by introduction. The shares were initially priced at 702.69 naira per share, boosting NGX market capitalization by 3.5 trillion naira. A major milestone in the oil and gas sector's participation in Nigerian stock market. However, its market capitalization, which stood at 3.354 trillion naira after Monday trading, depreciated to 2.717 trillion naira by the close of transactions on Friday, shedding 845 billion naira. Now, the Standards Organizations of Nigeria has called on Nigerians to use only certified compressed natural gas (CNG) refueling stations to ensure safety following a recent cylinder explosion at NIPCO's CNG refueling station in Benin City, Edo State. In a statement on Sunday, the Director General of SON, Dr. Ifeanyi Okeke, stressed the importance of adhering to standards to protect lives and property. According to SON, the preliminary investigations into the Benin explosion revealed that the cylinder used at the station did not meet approved CNG standards, failing to live to the federal government's initiative, which aims to drive economic growth and facilitating the efficient movement of people, goods, and services. SON has deployed 88 standards to regulate the sector, attract investors, and guarantee quality service delivery. The organization maintained that all CNG equipment and conversion kits must conform to these standards before being certified for public use. Now, federal government has in a bill proposed a 5% excise duty on telecommunication services, gaming and betting activities as part of a new bill to overhaul Nigeria's tax framework. The bill, titled A Bill for an Act to Repeal Certain Acts on Taxation and Consolidate the Legal Frameworks Relating to Taxation and enact the Nigerian Tax Act to provide for taxation of income, transactions, and instruments and related matters, was dated October 4, 2024 and obtained from the National Assembly. The proposed legislation seeks to introduce excise duties on services such as telecoms, gaming, gambling, lotteries, and betting provided in Nigeria. Scheduled to this act in a manner as may be prescribed by the service, a breakdown of the excise duty structure in the bill indicates that telecoms services, including postpaid and prepaid services regulated by the Nigerian Communications Commission, will attract a 5% duty. The bill also introduces guidelines on currency transactions, specifying that any difference between the prevailing Central Bank of Nigeria exchange rate and the actual transaction rate will be subject to excise duty. The new tax regime forms part of the government's strategy to boost non-oil revenue amidst fiscal pressures. With rapid growth in the telecoms and betting sectors, authorities are looking to widen the revenue base. That's not much we can take on business news on Housing TV Africa. Before we go, a recap of our top stories. MTN Nigeria unveils eco-friendly SIM cards. Lagos eyes $38.58 billion coconut market with increased production. Interswitch harps on local payment solutions to drive inclusive growth. Nigeria, Benin Republic boosts trades with new dry port. On the stock market report, Aradel investors lost over 800 billion naira 4 days after listing. For more updates in the business world, do subscribe to Housing TV Africa on YouTube and follow Housing TV Africa on all social media platforms. Download Housing TV Africa mobile app on Google Play Store and Apple Store to stay connected. Thanks for watching. I am Mimuna Bagudu. Bye for now.